Once a beautiful
If you're interested in happy stories about happy people like this with happy endings, stop watching.
In fact, you may as well turn off your TV now. Oh, you're still there. Well, don't say I didn't warn you. This is the extremely unpleasant story about the misery and despair of three orphans named Violet, Klaus and Sonny Baudelaire. Klaus was one of the most knowledgeable boys in the world. In fact, there wasn't a single book he hadn't read.
Interesting read.
Violet was one of the finest 14-year-old inventors in the world.
Eureka!
And Sonny had 4 little teeth that she used to bite everything she could get her little hands on. Like this. Sonny!
It has been someone's sad duty to document the tales of their unfortunate events, and I've tracked that person down. Lemony Snicket.
I met Lemony for tea, but Blue Peter had to agree to his wishes not to reveal his identity.
Mr. Lemony Snicket, now you seem to generate many questions from the Blue Peter viewership. Lizzie, aged 12, wants to know why you've always been so secretive, both about yourself and your life.
I'm not secretive at all. Here I am appearing on television, for goodness sake.
Not Liz, aged 10, wants to know why do you always tell us to stop reading your books?
Well, they're terrible books. Someone who's age 10 can see that at once. I mean, there's nothing but murder and blackmail and poorly cooked food. All sorts of nightmares are in the novels, and I don't think anyone in their right mind would pick one up, let alone read it. You wouldn't pick up a poisonous snake if it crawled into your home. Why would you pick up a dangerous book?
Angarad, aged 12, says, I've read some of these cool books.
Cool?
Yeah?
That's an outrage. The books are ice cold. They chill the bone.
Naomi, who's aged 14, wants to know, will anything good ever happen to Violet, Klaus and Sonny?
Well, good things happen to them all the time. In the first book, for instance, the sun is shining for a few moments there in one of the early chapters. It's just that the good thing is usually followed by a bad thing. The way a skipping rabbit in a field is often followed by a pack of vicious wolves.
Tilly, aged 10, wants to know, if you had to be one of the characters for a day, who would it be?
I don't think I could stand it, frankly. Who would you like to be, Connie, if only for a day?
I'd like to be Klaus, because that way I would have read all the books in the world.
So then what would you do with your time? While you were being pursued by an evil count who was bent on doing anything he could to get his hands on your fortune, Connie, you couldn't take it.
I could.
Not a woman like you.
Yes.
Even the diversity of experience offered by your job as a host of Blue Peter would be no match for the treachery of Count Olaf!
The orphans escaped from the evil man after realizing he was plotting their death to get his hands on their family's fortune. But from then on, Count Olaf would never be far away.
Hello there, I've come to read your gas meter.
Well, of course it's... Violet started to say, but when she looked up at his face, she couldn't finish her sentence. Said Sonny, which probably meant something like, that's a rubbish disguise. Stay away from us, Count Olaf.
Bronte says, do you ever feel scared or anxious or have any unusual emotions when you're writing your books?
I feel scared and anxious almost all of the time. Even in your presence, Connie, I have the shakes, the jitters, and the utter panic attacks when I think about my work and the danger it puts me in.
Anya, who's aged 10, wants to know, which of your books do you think is the worst?
Well, they're all fairly terrible. The penultimate peril is the longest, so arguably that is the worst, though of course the bad beginning has what is possibly more misery in its short period of time. And so it really depends on whether you're the sort of person who rips the bandage right off or if you're the sort who takes it off very slowly. I mean, all of the books are grim. None of them are my favorite. The only thing they're good for really is to prop up a table that might be shaky in some way.
Lauren, aged 13, is trying to write a book like yours. Where do you get your inspiration? Have you got any tips for her?
I have many tips for young writers. The important thing is to keep a notebook with you at all times, which I do, and to stand outside doors and eavesdrop and listen to what people are saying and write those things down in your notebook.
Well, Deanna would like to know, and she's age 9, what was your favourite subject when you were at school?
My favorite subject, I would have to say, was lunchtime.
Christy?
Try to keep up, Connie.
Helen, who's age 13, says, do you have fun trying to think up plots for the books, or did you find
Fun?
it a bit frustrating?
Fun? No. It's not fun to think about terrible things happening to small children, and if she finds that fun, I think she should seek some serious medical attention.
Ashley, age 13, wants to know what the last book is called and what's in store.
Well, the last book is called The End. Book 13 is possibly the most dreadful. Most of it takes place on a small island in the middle of the ocean, and the Baudelaires, in this case, get their last choice for whom they'd want to be alone with.
Bethany says, are you ever going to do another set of books as interesting as a series of unfortunate events?
I plan to keep on writing books until the pen is dragged out of my cold, dead fingers, but when that happens, of course, I do not know. A terrible thing can happen to us at any moment. The tea I'm drinking could turn out to be poisonous. I could be attacked by weasels, or the entire ceiling could collapse because there were clod dancers practicing up above. Or a tree could fall right through this wall and trample me, so there's really no guarantees.
Bye, Mr. Snicket. See ya. Yeah. Interesting man, but also quite familiar. I'm sure I recognise him from somewhere else.
And they disappeared and were never seen again. Good night, Rupert.
Not sure he'll sleep well after that. Now then, if you are a Lemony Snicket fan, it just gets better, because live after the show from 5:30, the man himself, Lemony Snicket, will be doing a message board chat. So make sure you log on after we come off air.
Well,